My dad's a radiologist, my mom's a pathologist. I was very much interested in string music, like I really loved guitar and ukulele, and it wasn't until I went to a Swedish House Mafia concert way back my senior year of high school that I started to take note of electronic music and all the different sounds that could be made. When I was 16, I played at Carnegie Hall for like
Hi, today I'm here with Griffin Stoller.
Hey, how's it going?
So were you born in San Francisco or?
Yeah, I was born in San Francisco, went to school there, and yeah, I'm down in LA tonight for a show. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, and San Francisco, were your parents born there as well, or?
My family's my dad's from LA and my mom's from the East Coast, but yeah, we all live together and that's up.
How do you describe yourself like back then growing up?
I've always kind of been into music. I started playing violin from a young age, and recently when I went to college in Palo Alto, I went to Stanford University. I started doing music production there, and then I just started releasing content on Spotify, and I'm going to continue doing that in the future.
Yeah. For the violin, was that something that you want to do, or did your parents like push you to do it?
I was always really interested in music. Like I think my parents got me some like musical like toy drums and stuff like that, so I always kind of was interested in that, and they kind of just gave me a violin, and I enjoyed it a lot. So yeah.
Are your parents musicians also? Or?
No, they're not. They're both doctors actually.
Oh wow. Yeah. Damn. Did they push you like academically then?
Not too much. I mean, they were very supportive of what I wanted to do musically, and they were happy to help in any way that they could. Yeah.
Damn. Do you have a musician in your family?
Not really. I'm kind of the standout when it comes to the music.
What type of doctors are they?
My dad's a radiologist, my mom's a pathologist. I didn't really get into electronic music for a while. I was very much interested in string music, like I really loved guitar and ukulele, and it wasn't until I went to a Swedish House Mafia concert way back my senior year of high school that I started to take note of electronic music and all the different sounds that could be made using computers and that kind of stuff. So that's really what got me interested in getting Ableton and learning how to do it myself.
How about like outside of music though?
I don't know. I kind of I always liked playing basketball when I was younger, even though I wasn't really tall enough to actually like play like that well. It was still super fun. And yeah, just kind of like hanging out with friends, just normal stuff. But yeah, music's always been a super big part of my life.
Yeah. What were your favorite subjects in school, like other than music, or was music your favorite class?
I think honestly, in school I really enjoyed like biology and things like that. But for me, the most fun part about music was actually like getting to play instruments and that kind of stuff outside of school. Like I learned a lot just from YouTube. Honestly, like that's really one of the main things I learned how to produce on, was just like watching everyone do it on YouTube and following tutorials and that kind of stuff. Found it super useful for me.
Yeah. How did you even think of like going from the whole like violin phase? So even like, do you have friends who are producing as well?
Not really. I kind of just it kind of just came out of I started to get inspired by a lot of artists I was listening to. I was listening to Zedd and Skrillex and Porter Robinson, and I was just really into their type of music and wanted to just try to make stuff that had my own like personality kind of associated with it. So that's kind of what got me interested in producing music.
Do you remember who showed you like Zedd and everyone?
It was probably just people were just sharing some of that music so much. It was all over the internet at the time, and like just hearing about it and going to a few concerts. I saw Porter Robinson when he like did his live show at Bill Graham in SF. Like that was a while ago, but super inspirational show for me.
Yeah. What about it? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember a lot. I thought the visuals were insane. The attention to detail, his engagement with like playing piano live and doing drum stuff live, all of that was really cool to see, just because it kind of inspired me. When I do my own show, I want to play, guitar live or sing live or do all that kind of stuff. I don't really want to just like push play. So I was super inspired by Porter.
And did you have any like aspiration to go down like any field similar to your parents, or was it not even in the question?
I mean, I always worked really hard in whatever I did, and my parents like saw that music was like coming really naturally to me, so they were very supportive. And like when I wanted to buy, music equipment, they were always like, "Yeah, go for it." And So yeah, I'm super grateful to them. Shout out mom and dad. Yeah.
And you had a pretty big performance, right, when you were 16?
I had, yeah, so when I was a lot younger, I won a DJ contest and I got to go to Snow Globe and play there. That was like one of my earlier performances. But it wasn't until I started putting content out on Spotify that I really got traction. Like, I'm super grateful that that platform has allowed me to like reach over 1 million monthly listeners so quickly and that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Do you remember how you were able to gain traction initially?
Yeah, so it really just kind of came out, like I put November 1st, 2016, I put out my first single, Faded on Your Love, and it broke into the US viral charts and the UK viral charts, and then it started getting playlisted, and then my next single got playlisted a lot in Germany, and it just started to kind of pick up. So I'm super grateful that they have those cool like release radar and that kind of stuff. Has just really helped me get a lot of exposure.
So what age would you say it all started? Like, do you remember?
I mean, it's all like the actual like the most growth has been very like recent. Honestly, like this past year and a half has been insane.
Damn.
So
Yeah.
I've been putting music out on SoundCloud for a while, but it wasn't really until I started like releasing on Spotify that things took off for me.
Yeah. Were you ever like afraid of getting into the music scene so early? I mean, you didn't really have much family, right, to like guide you or mentor you.
Yeah. Well, what I really rely on my friends. Like they usually give me the best kind of advice and inspiration. So yeah, I just found that surrounding myself with like positive people and people who are interested in music and just like sharing musical taste and that kind of stuff is the best way to like navigate the industry, because it can be very like daunting and confusing and stuff like that.
Were they SoundCloud friends that you found early on, or?
Mostly friends that I went to school with, to be honest. Yeah, I lived with a group of 5 close friends who all kind of like shared music, and I would always play them songs that I was working on, and they were very like, they would always help me say like, oh yeah, that's awesome, you should put it out, and you know what, put it out. Yeah.
Was college something that you always wanted to do, or did your parents kind of push you to get a degree?
Well, I mean, at first I didn't know I was going to be a professional musician, so I wanted to go to college myself just because I feel like it's a really good thing to do if you can. But yeah, once things started taking off, I was in my senior year, so I said, hey, I should probably finish.
Yeah. But from the onset, like when you started applying to all these schools, did you apply to their music programs especially for
Yeah, definitely. When I initially came to Stanford, it was for violin specifically.
Oh wow.
But as I kind of went there and started to learn more about production, my interests shifted very quickly. Yeah.
You got pretty like big doing violin, doing pretty big shows, right?
Yeah, when I was younger, I did a lot of like competitive like violin playing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, when I was 16, I played at Carnegie Hall for like
yeah,
so that was really fun. I'm super grateful for that.
How many hours a day did you train for all that?
I honestly probably like 4 hours a day, 4 or 5 hours a day. I realize that it's usually, and this is true with production too, really any skill. It's like if you are paying attention during the time that you're practicing, you can usually get better faster, rather than just like not really engaging but doing more hours.
Do you think that made you such a big, like the artist you are now with all that live performance? You think it like really geared you up?
I think it's helped me a lot, but honestly, like there's a lot of room for me to grow, and I want to continue to learn things. I never like think I've mastered anything. I try to keep an open mind to everything, because there's always more stuff to learn.
How do you think your music has changed from the really early songs that you put out through SoundCloud?
Well, a lot of the earliest songs I was doing on SoundCloud were remixes, and I wasn't singing in them. So one of the biggest changes I had was realizing that I wanted to sing on my own material. And once I started doing that, at first I was like not sure. I didn't know if I liked my voice, all this kind of stuff. But once I kind of just started practicing and getting in the habit, and then people started liking it, I was like, yeah, this is definitely the move. I got to do this.
What actually gave you the confidence to sing more in your songs?
Well, initially I was trying to find other vocalists to work with, and I think, you know, I just wanted to just put the material out, and I didn't really have anyone who I was working with, so I just started doing it myself, and that's how it kind of came.
But you never, like, when you were young, like, sing at all?
No, I definitely did, like, a little bit, like, casually, not in a very, like, trying to be professional or anything like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I really enjoyed, like, learning to sing. It's super different than any, like, string instrument that I've ever played.
What is it actually like going to Stanford and like doing something creative, where I think most people who go there do something more academic?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely got positives and negatives, but like I'm super happy that I get to like wake up every day and make art. Basically, is like
Yeah.
regardless of like where it ends up, it's if a million people like it, that's great. But at the end of the day, like just working on something that has like personal meaning for me is like that's like what I love to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Did you find going to Stanford for music more of a competitive environment compared to if you went to like Berkeley or something that's more like creative fostering?
I think that a lot of the Stanford music is oriented more towards like classical and that kind of stuff. But I've been very fortunate that they've given me a lot of freedom to pursue my own path there. So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for that.
How do you think like that whole program has shaped you as a person in the music you make?
Well, I mean, they've definitely given me some really cool tools. Like, I didn't know very much music theory going into Stanford, even though I did so much violin. I wasn't really like educated with like musical notation and that kind of stuff. So they've given me some really good tools there that helped me write songs and understand chord progressions and that kind of stuff.
At what point in your career were you like ready to get like a whole team and managers and everything, and that you
Well,
knew
I mean, honestly, I found that like I try to put all my energy into the actual like music itself. So while I am building more of a team now, most of it is very like internal, and I pretty much handle everything right now myself. Yeah.
How do you think you've like grown as an artist in general since like way back young Griffin and everything?
Yeah, it's definitely been quite a dramatic evolution. I've just basically gotten very much more open to learning new skills like production and singing and all these kinds of things that at first I had no idea how to do, and over time and just like repetition, just learning how to do them has been amazing. And then going forward, I want to really like keep my mind open to even more like skills, and I'm very excited to like build a live show and start to debut it soon. So I just want to meet more people, like going to Stanford, and like I have a lot of friends who are from different places. I got one friend from Turkey, and he's kind of like exposed me to a lot of cool politics and stuff like that. So just just becoming more cultured in general has been a really cool process, and I want to go start to play shows all over the world. And my Spotify statistics say that I have a lot of like listeners in Germany, so I want to go there.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to like see who's listening over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say have been your biggest struggle so far?
I think just sometimes it's like frustrating because I really, really want my content to be as good as it can. So sometimes I have to like work on like 20 projects to get one song that I'm like feel good about releasing. But it's totally worth it in the end, because like I really try to like make sure I'm putting out the best stuff I can. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Last question.
Sure.
What do you want to be remembered for?
It's a great question. I think I just want to be remembered for my music, honestly, just having music that kind of can endure past the sounds, because a lot of like producers like follow trends, and for me, I care much more about songwriting itself. Like having someone being able to like play the song 30 years from now and still like it would be like a goal for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye.
Bye.